sanctions on Somalia and Eritrea. And yesterday afternoon, Said Djinnit, the Special Envoy for the Secretary General for the Great Lakes, also briefed the Security Council, highlighting some progress on the implementation of the peace and security framework in the region. And that was following the vote on the Syria resolution. Mr. Djinnit also encouraged leaders in the region to remain committed in assisting Burundi, the Central African Republic, the DRC, South Sudan, to address persisting crises in these countries. Now I have an update on Cameroon. The Special Representative Secretary General for Central Africa, Lonseni Fall, just concluded a 3-day visit to Cameroon. It was his fourth since November of last year, and the second focused on the situation in the northwest and the southwest regions of the country. During his visit, he met with government officials, civil society, opposition leaders, detained representatives from the Anglophone movement and their lawyers, representatives of the international community and the UN system. Mr. Fall reiterated the UN's call to all parties to address the current situation through peaceful and legal means. He welcomed the government's announced intentions to restore internet services in Bamenda for hospitals, universities, and banks as part of a package of measures announced on March 30th by the Minister of Justice. He encouraged the government to consider additional confidence-building measures to appease tensions, including the release of the Anglophone leaders and the full restoration of internet services in the two regions. Mr. Fall also called on the leaders of the Anglophone movement to engage with the government in a constructive manner to find a consensual and lasting solution to the situations in the southwest and northwest regions. Mr. Lonseni Fall reaffirmed the willingness of the UN to continue to accompany the two parties in their dialogue efforts. Mr. Fall will return to Cameroon on the occasion of the 44th ministerial meeting of the UN Standing Advisory Committee on Security Questions in Central Africa, and that's at the end of May, beginning of June of this year. Meanwhile, from Iraq, the UN mechanism have started to do their work. It's important that the facts be found out. I think the pictures that we've seen on TV, I think were heartbreaking, to say the least. And I will leave it at that. And I think we've
allegations by Swedish doctor organization saying that the white helmets were killing children by injecting them with adrenaline in the heart, when in such cases, when there is sarin, they should not even touch them.
I think there are a lot of things being said. What I have no comment on. I haven't seen those particular comments. I think we've seen, and I'm not going to start commenting on certain medical procedures that may or may not have taken. What I do know is that the people who need to be honored are the Syrian humanitarian workers who across the country have put their lives on the life to try to save as many civilians as possible.
On the same subject, will the investigators go to Khan Sheikhoun?
The fact-finding mechanism is run by the OPCW. They will try to gather as much information as they can, and I would urge you to be in touch with them, with the OPCW in The Hague. I can give you their contact. Mr. Lee.
Sure. I wanted to ask about this, what you came back with on Cameroon. I have a couple of questions. One is, can you confirm that the Secretary General sought to speak with Paul Biya while he was on an extended stay in Geneva, as has been reported? And I also, go ahead. You will.
I have no confirmation of a call having taken place.
I mean, I'm not asking if he reached him. I'm asking, did he try to reach him?
I have no information.
Okay. And I wanted to know, people there are saying, even in the wake of the visit of Lonseni Fall, that, for example, a Supreme Court Justice, Paul Aya, was only today, remanded to remain in prison. So they're not seeing much changes. And I'm wondering, is this something that Mr. Lonseni Fall looked into while he was there, the continued detention of barristers and those who have advocated for fair treatment?
Well, I think what I just said is, in fact, that in his contacts with the government, Mr. Lonseni Fall advocated for the release of a number of Anglophone leaders and others. So I think that's clear. That's one of the things he was advocating for.
And finally, I wanted to ask you about the resident coordinator position. Given that the previous resident coordinator didn't raise any of the issues that you've just mentioned while she was there, Is there any progress on naming?
I don't know that, and I don't know if you know that. But okay, anyway, next.
The people that are
What's
there
your question?
say it, and she also blocks the press.
Well, I think she blocks you, but
yeah,
that's her right.
In what capacity does she block it?
Well, I think anyone who's seen your tweets, I think sometimes they do cross the line, I think, into harassment, and people block you from time to time. Indeed.
Excellent. I have another question. Sexual
Go ahead.
abuse. I wanted to ask